Hey guys! One of these days, I'll get my hair right. Guess what time it is again? Story time! The number of takes it took to do that intro was embarrassing. I wanted to tell you guys about the time that my best friend stole my crush. Okay, disclaimer. This was back in like middle school when nobody really had a boyfriend. So this story goes way back when I was a little 11-year-old, or damn, how old is I? Or 12-year-old or something like that. When I had a huge crush on this guy, and he was 1 year older than me and 1 grade above mine, and I don't know why, but I liked him since elementary school. I just had a crush on him, and I just thought he was gorgeous. I don't know why. I just really liked him. I felt very strongly, you know, for a little 11-year-old about it. I got to middle school. I actually met the guy in my art class. And this must have been 7th grade when my best friend and I were in the same art class. He was in that art class. He met her, and she didn't, as far as I was concerned, she didn't really like him at first, or she hadn't had some years-long crush on him like I had, and she knew that I had. But he seemed to like her. Of course I was jealous, but I didn't say anything, or I couldn't do anything, and it didn't really matter because no one was going out with anybody. We were still kids, and we weren't even in relationships yet. My friend and I did talk about him sometimes, about how I liked him or how she liked him. I don't know, it was bizarre. But he flirted with her a lot, and she would hang out with him after school. And I couldn't because I had to leave on the bus and I couldn't see him. And then months passed and they still weren't going out, and I assumed they were just friends at this point. And we were going to finish our school year. It was his last year at our school because he was an 8th grader, and next year he was going to high school. And I thought, well, I'm never gonna tell him how I feel about him. I really like him. So the day before the last day of school, I tell my best friend, hey, you're gonna see him tomorrow, right? After school? And she said yes. And I asked her, for some reason, to tell him that I liked him. I had no hope that we would end up together. Well, I had a slight hope that we would end up together. But I just thought I wanted to know what he thought or what he would have thought before I lost him forever. And so she agreed, and she said she would tell him the next day and that she would let me know about what he said. She didn't really seem to care, I guess. So I had assumed at this point that she didn't like him anymore, I don't know, or that she never really liked him. She just liked that he flirted with her, I don't know. Fast forward to the last day of school. After school, I come home and I wait about an hour and a half, where I know that she was spending time with him because she hung out with him after school, as I previously mentioned. And I was just waiting for her to tell me when she told him and what he said, but she never called me. So I decided, let me call her. I can't take the stress or the anxiousness. I need to know if he secretly likes me back. So I call her up, and apparently she's still at school, or she just left him. And she was really excited, and she was just laughing and talking about how fun the last day of school had been, and how fun it was to hang out with him, and how funny he was. And I just felt my heart sink. And then she tells me what ruined me for who knows how long. She goes, he kissed me. And my heart just broke into a million pieces. And I managed to say, so I take it that you didn't tell him that I like him. And her response was so dismissive that probably shattered my heart even more. She goes, oh yeah, I did. And that event just like shattered me for months, maybe years to come. Because not only did I feel betrayed by my best friend, who knew that I thought at the time that I loved this guy, I was also just so amazed at how dismissive she was as to how much that would hurt me for her to tell me this, and how she just dismissively said, yes, I told him. And it hurt me even more just on a self-esteem level that he apparently didn't respond, or he didn't care, or he didn't think I was worth anything to even comment on the fact that, hello, I was in love with you. And then my friendship with her was obviously very strained for a while. I don't remember the facts. And at the time she was also going out with him, and it was just really awful for me to hear my friends talking about her going out with him, because, you know, it was a big deal. We were so young, and she had a boyfriend before any of us, and he was gorgeous, at least by our standards at that time. Fast forward to a year later, and at this point they were no longer together, and he was long gone. He was out of her life, and we were still struggling with our friendship. And she hands me this note one day in class, and I read it, and it says something along the lines of, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have done that, that was a bad move, and I can't believe I hurt you like that. Later that day, I assume, I called her on the phone when we were home, and we had a little chat, a little heart-to-heart. And I don't know what I expected. I was still holding on to the fact that maybe he did say something about me that she didn't want to tell me. Maybe I wasn't so unbelievably unattractive that he would completely dismiss me. My self-esteem was just shot. She tells me that that call that she had given me a year ago, she had told me he kissed her, first of all, on purpose, to let me know that he was hers now, not mine, that I would not have him. And that just, you cannot understand the pain I felt and the betrayal I felt for a 13-year-old. And it's just, it was awful. I was crying. I couldn't breathe. I couldn't believe that someone I thought cared about me so much, someone that I cared about, would hurt me on purpose, like that, for themselves. The only thing that comforted me was that she told me that he had said that I was cute. And can you imagine how stupid was I that that would comfort me at this point? Like, it comforted me slightly because of my self-esteem being so low at this point, but I was obviously way more hurt and just in pain and crying from the fact that someone I cared about so much hurt me and betrayed me and didn't give a rat's ass about me. And she felt really guilty, and then I felt guilty for making her feel guilty, but she said sorry, and I don't know, we reconciled later, and I forgave her, and then we became closer than ever after that whole event. And looking back on it now, I mean, it's so stupid. Obviously I wasn't in love with him. It did hurt a lot, and it was a mean thing to do. But, I mean, when you're so young and all the hormones are crazy, you think you're in love like that. I didn't know the guy. I didn't even know him. I felt like I knew him, but I didn't even know him. I just had seen him around school for so many years that I felt in love with him. I felt like I was in love with him, and I wasn't. And I feel so embarrassed that a guy that doesn't even know my name had so much impact on how I viewed myself and my self-esteem, and it's stupid, really. And I'm so glad that I see that now. So anyway, that's pretty much the whole story, and I feel like this video is getting really long at this point, so I'll see you guys later, or some other time. Bye!